Hi everyone, welcome to another vlog with Chris and Chris here at Macduff Aquarium. This vlog we'll be looking at a release of one of our favourite fish, our conger eels, and we took the opportunity to do some refurbishment works in our main tank as well.
So as you can see, the first thing we did is basically take the plug out, so you can see the tank's draining. Took about 4 hours in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, just under 4 hours. Quite scary to watch it coming down though, because that's a lot of water to refill if something goes wrong, but thankfully nothing went wrong.
We did enjoy taking photos. It's not very often you get a chance to see the 50-50 kind of look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the reason for this was to do some refurbishment works, but we thought we'd take the opportunity to move and release some of our fish. So we obviously had to hire an enormous crane to do this. As most of you will know, the tank is open to the sky. And what we had to do was use a lifting bag that you can see here, lowered into the tank, filled with water, and put our animals inside this. And then we swung that round, or we didn't, obviously the crane operator swung it round onto the ocean. And I think you're about to see our friendly snorkelers, which would have been Chris, wasn't it, Chris?
It was me, yeah, me and Hannah, basically accepting the bag at the end, full of conger eel, and then very carefully kind of inverting it. It wasn't very easy. It's quite a weight, there's a ton of water in that. And it's quite a small opening in order to actually encourage the eel out of. But we did it twice. We released 2 conger eels in the process of this day, and both of them swam out quite contentedly.
Which we'll see in a second. And yeah, the reason we do this is because our conger eels, they don't spawn like many animals spawn in the sea. Conger eels actually will go on a diet basically for a few months and stop eating, and their entire body becomes sperm or egg production factories, and they swim all the way from wherever they are, in this case Macduff, right the way down to the south of the Azores of Portugal, and they will spawn there and they will die. They only spawn once. So we need to get them back into the water so that they're able to fulfill that life cycle, and hopefully in a few years' time we'll have baby congers returning from these adults. So yeah, it's quite a good thing to do, release them back into the sea and give them a chance to spawn.
It wasn't just the conger eels. This is us releasing a few of our thornback rays that had born actually on site at the aquarium, and have just got to the stage where we've got so many of them at a certain age group that it's just good to have a bit of a thin out and again let them go back to the wild habitat.
We're being too successful, aren't we, at breeding them. They're doing really well in the aquarium, which is a great thing. Here you can see us now. What we did was we drained the tank down to about this depth, which was what, 3 feet deep, and then we waded around and tried to remove the rest of our flatfish, for instance, that we don't want to stand on them. So here you can see somebody catching a turbot and flopping it up into the net there. That would then get moved into the blue tub and moved to an external tank temporarily.
Yeah, it's quite. I think it was one of the biggest cranes we've ever had on site. That had to pretty much span the entire car park, right from the centre of the tank all the way through to our holding facility where the fish are for the next few weeks to a couple of months or so, whilst we've got some exciting work going on. Which
we're not going to tell you what it is. You can you can come and visit and find out, can't you? But yeah, as you can see, the crane, as Chris said, was huge. And what did you reckon it was, about 70 metres tall, the boom, when it was swinging? So, you know, it's a substantial piece of kit, but we needed that because we needed it to both reach the tank and in over the new building, which you'll probably see in a second. Oh, no, you don't. But then swing all the way around to this, our contingency tank, where we've set up a temporary tank. And as you can see here, Hannah is releasing them out of that blue tub into the contingency tank, their new temporary home. And glad to say that we had no casualties at all, did we? Everything was absolutely fine. It probably would have stressed them a little amount, you know, getting moved from one house to another, but everything coped really well, and everything was feeding within the next day. You can see some of our smaller animals here in the contingency tank swimming around quite happily in that tank. It does look a little bit murky because they've just been fed, so there's lots of bits of food particles in the water there for them to nibble on.
And that left us with a great gaping hole, basically. So the kelp tank is now devoid of any water. We've now taken out the substrate in there, so all the sand and rocks and things has been moved aside, and it's ready for its upgrades, which we're still not going to tell you about.
Yep. It's actually really weird in there though, isn't it, Chris, when there's no water? Like, as divers, we're used to going up onto that platform that you can see one of our supervisors there and standing on that, and it being about 2 feet down to the water. As it is, you've now got a 5 metre drop all the way down here, down to solid concrete, and it's a little bit scary. So come and visit us and see the changes.